Oh, what a beautiful what? What? What is that? Who are you? Wait.
Oh, so you don't recognize your old pal, do ya? Big surprise, given how you've abandoned me?
Platforming genre.
Yes, it's me. Took ya long enough.
Give me a break, you got, quite the makeover.
Don't change the subject, pal. You know why I'm here.
Platforming genre, you had to beat a lot of other genres to win second place in that contest, and I haven't seen any of them commit arson over it.
A 40-minute Dragon Quest video? You used to be cool, man. You got this channel off to such a good start. Talked some good stuff about Nintendo franchises, reviewed a nice platforming game. Then that slimy, smiley little glob of goo showed up, and everything went downhill. What's the matter with you? You're a Nintendo fan. Everyone knows Nintendo fans don't like RPGs.
And yet, two of the biggest RPG franchises got their start on the NES. Curious.
Oh, why did they ever let those generic anime sword fighters into Smash Bros? It was the beginning of the end. You've changed, man.
Beginning of the... Come on, is it really that surprising that I'd end up an RPG fan? I had Mario RPGs at the top of the old list, Earthbound as this channel's main gimmick, and do you remember how obsessed I was with Pokemon Leaf Green as a kid? I didn't change, this was always bound to happen.
I don't want to hear it. And you're not getting a moment's rest until I'm back on top where I belong!
My third favorite gaming genre says what?
What? Third?
Keep this up, and I'm giving that silver medal to visual novels.
You don't even play those!
Look, I don't want to keep fighting with you. You're still my silver medalist. I want to like you, man, but seriously, was a silver medal really all it took for you to become a terrorist?
Okay, alright. I might have overdone it just a smidge, but can ya blame me? You certainly haven't been treating me like your silver medalist. Just look at this! The little bonanza bit was nice, but we haven't had a real platformer video on here in, what, 3 years? Gobbledy-Gleep has higher billing than me!
I mean, Arzette had platforming elements, but you know what? Fair point.
Huh?
Care to do the honors? Oh, now you're talking!
We're finally back!
That we are, and while I review this, you are going to put out that fire and fix up the town.
Fine, whatever. Annette looks better on fire anyway.
It's pronounced Wonnet. Whew. Well, the remake train keeps rolling, I guess. So, Yooka-Laylee. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but here we go. Rareware. Awesome company that made a whole pile of fantastic games for Nintendo in the 90s. Then 2002 rolled around, Microsoft bought Rare, and their output afterwards wasn't quite what their old fans were looking for. Fast forward to 2012, and we hear things about former Rare developers coming together to make a successor to their beloved 3D platformer Banjo-Kazooie. Development was rough at first, but in 2015 the team reappeared under the new banner of Playtonic Games and turned to Kickstarter for funding on their project now called Yooka-Laylee. And boy, people clearly wanted this, myself included. I was in on it day one, making it the first Kickstarter I ever backed, as I happily joined the throng of people who pelted Playtonic with money. And let me tell you, it was a glorious thing to see in action. Yooka-Laylee shattered Kickstarter records, getting fully funded in less than an hour, and proceeding to smash all the stretch goals, becoming the fastest project to reach $1 million in all of Kickstarter. So, the Kickstarter was a massive success, but as we all know, that's no guarantee of quality. With that in mind, how did the game do when it released in 2017? The answer is, well enough. The reviews were mixed to positive, with the main complaint being that it was too much like Banjo-Kazooie, which is a fair criticism, but for my part, that was exactly what I paid them for. The game did have issues beyond being a bit too reliant on nostalgia, but it was hardly Mighty Number 9 levels of bad. I played it, and by and large got what I asked for, but the problems it had did hold the game back from being what it could have been. Despite playing most of the game and enjoying it quite a lot, I admittedly never actually finished it. And I'm guessing this was a common enough situation because my good friend MMS from So Okay Here's the Thing never rolled credits on this game either, despite being a certified Banjo-Kazooie fanatic.
It was the frickin' capital B boss fight in the original. I got all the way into the final battle and then rage quit.
Huh. Okay, I never even made it that far. But that wasn't the last we saw of this series. 2019 saw the announcement and release of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, a game that got a noticeably better critical reception than the original. And I agree with that. This one was great, and honestly, after a game that got me thinking that Playtonic might be slightly past their prime, this one reassured me that they still had the magic touch. I should review it too sometime.
Yeah, you should!
But, more importantly to this conversation, on June 6th, 2024, we saw the surprise announcement of Yooka Replaylee, a remake of the original Yooka-Laylee that was understandably met with some confusion at first. After all, the original was hardly an old game, and we were obviously more interested in seeing a sequel, so why did this game need to exist? I definitely shared the sentiment, but the announcement did make a degree of sense to me. After all, the original, as I said, had some really noticeable potholes in the road that brought what could have been an excellent experience down to a satisfactory one. So, I was looking forward to the remake a fair amount, and was ready to dive back in when Yooka Replaylee launched on October 9th, 2025. And now that I've played it, I can confidently assert that this is the game that Yooka-Laylee always should have been. But let's set the stage. What is Yooka-Laylee? It's basically just legally distinct Banjo-Kazooie, but if you're not sure what that is, it's the classic 3D collectathon platformer done to a T. You run and jump through colorful and cartoony worlds as a duo of protagonists, fight the bad guys with an ever-expanding arsenal of moves, and ransack everything that isn't nailed to the floor, most notably the golden treasures that are your main progress trackers. And everything that I just said also holds true of Banjo-Kazooie's green and purple contemporaries. This time around, you'll be playing as the titular Yooka-Laylee, a pair of treasure-hunting adventurers who end up at odds with Capital B, the CEO of the evil megacorporation Ivory Towers. The company initiates a plan to steal every book in the world, most notably the powerful One Book, an arcane tome whose magical pages have the power to change reality itself. The pages scattered during Capital B's theft of the One Book, so now Yooka and Laylee must journey through Ivory Towers and the imprisoned Grand Tomes. These magical books hold entire worlds inside them and are chock full of the scattered pages, so it's up to the heroes to collect them before Capital B's minions do. A suitably silly and straightforward synopsis for a game of this style, and the remake notably includes a completely new opening that sets things up considerably better than before. So, the question now is, how does Yooka Replaylee improve on what the original started? Let's quickly address the presentation first. The original honestly looked and sounded quite good, but this time, ooh, the lighting, the details, the newly orchestrated soundtrack. It's all top of the line. But presentation wasn't the issue earlier, the gameplay was, so let's get to that. The original problems mostly boil down to the game feeling too empty and too slow. Let's start with this one and... yeah, that'll help. In the original, it just took too long to find anything. The worlds felt way too large for how much was actually in them, but here? You're finding stuff everywhere you go. There are way more mini-challenges that keep things interesting, and the extra pages aren't the only things filling out the space. It's kind of impressive how much more engaging the game is now by simply adding coins and a variety of new ways to get them. And these shiny circles are worth gathering up so you can spend them with this terrifying vending machine whose store is a lot more interesting than last time. Similar to before, you have tonics that can tweak the gameplay in a variety of ways, but now you can equip multiple at a time and also have a nice array of cosmetics to try out. But now for the other major problem with the original, the pacing. Man, this game felt slow, so here's all the ways that the remake goes fast.
Phew, finally got all that done. So, how's the review going, huh?
Oh, look, the pace is ruined.
What?
Nothing. It's just that... Get back to it.
Doesn't this town have a fire department?
So, the pace. How is it better now? Well, you can move faster. Your high speed ability was tied to a stamina meter last time, which stuck you into the good old loop of go fast, wait for the stamina to recover, now go fast again that I tend to hate in every game it shows up in. Here, you can zoom around to your heart's content without restrictions. But there were bigger pacing problems, most notably the expansion system. It was an interesting idea on paper, either use the pages you collect to expand an existing world or open up a new one, but in practice, this was just a chore. The worlds felt incredibly empty and incomplete before expanding them, so it just felt like a pointless process to actually gain access to the complete content. Now they just give you the expanded version up front, and it's so much better. But then there's all these skills you learn. Yooka-Laylee had unlockable moves that you buy from this sketchy merchant named Trouser. Each world had some new ones, but much like in Banjo-Tooie, this resulted in a lot of annoying roadblocks where you couldn't access stuff in one world without an ability you learned in a later one. Yooka Replaylee fixed all of this by just giving you every move in your arsenal up front. I guess the old unlocks gave the game a sense of progression, but this method negates way too much backtracking for me to care. And having all the moves right away is great because these two have a really fun skill set. Laylee is similar to Kazooie in having gliding capabilities and ranged attacks, but Yooka is frankly an upgrade over Banjo, who honestly felt a bit useless at times. Yooka has Yoshi-esque abilities with using his tongue for traversal, as well as gaining temporary powers by eating different objects. All this worked well enough in the original, but everything just feels so much smoother here. The moves feel snappier and more impactful. Oh, and on a similar note, they made the flight ability temporary this time, because for some reason you could do this on command in the original, which was as stupidly game-breaking as it sounds. So, you might be wondering what Trouser does in this game, since selling you new moves was his whole purpose earlier. But don't worry, his legally questionable business ventures are still up and running. Quills, which were the main currency last time, are still in this game, but work differently, functioning much like purple coins from Mario Odyssey. They're more hidden now, but each world has its own set that you can exchange with Trouser for useful upgrades. This does replace those hidden booster collectibles from before, but honestly the new system works better. Even beyond all this, there are loads of changes they made to let the game run smoother, ranging from little tweaks to rebuilding certain areas for an overall much nicer experience. But there are two parts in particular that stood out, being Rextro and Kartos. Rextro provided some mini-games from his arcade cabinets, but these just felt really undercooked. They weren't much fun, and also, why do they look like this? Rextro's whole shtick was him being an out-of-place N64 character, so why don't the mini-games have 64-bit graphics? Now, though, Rextro has a completely different and way better offering with Rextro Bites Back, a series of simple challenges that are way better than any of the old minigames. Those aren't here at all this time, and I don't miss them. Now for Kartos, and oh, this one hurt for me. I loved Donkey Kong Country's minecart levels, so when I heard they were making an entire character dedicated to those, I got excited. But one piece of advice, Platonic. If you were going to have this guy go on and on about how much better minecart levels were in the old days, then maybe don't make him correct about it! They weren't the worst thing in the world, but the controls felt really off. Especially the brakes and acceleration, those just never worked right. But fortunately, they overhauled the whole thing with new track layouts and controls that are so much better. Still pretty tough, especially if you're aiming for a perfect score, but it's a challenge I welcome this time. They still feel like a bit of an afterthought, though, and if you guys ever want to take another swing at this idea, please make them more like the DK64 minecart levels. Those were cool. Finally, there's one addition that I was begging for earlier. A map with fast travel. These levels are pretty large, definitely big enough to warrant a map, and without one, I got lost way too easily in the original. But now we have a map, a system that keeps track of your objectives, and with the help of these magical bookmarks, fast travel. Oh, the original needed this so badly. Frankly, I didn't even end up getting lost as much this time, thanks to all the smart improvements, but the map was still a very welcome addition. And, yeah. More content, brisker pace, smoother controls, this remake really went and fixed everything. Is there any reason to play the original anymore? Well, I kind of missed the quizzes that Dr. Quack gave you, and I like the look of the old stamina meter over these Breath of the Wild looking circles, but aside from that, wow, this is a staggering upgrade. It really can't be overstated just how much better this game feels now. The original functioned as the Banjo-Kazooie successor we were asking for, but the aforementioned issues could just make it a slog at points. Particular shout out to Capital Casino. That world was easily the worst in Yooka-Laylee, and a major contributing factor to me not finishing the original. And considering that Capital B made this place, I guess it's the most effective roadblock he could have come up with. Masterful gambit, sir. But this time, not an issue. Everything just worked. Obviously, it would have been better if these issues just weren't there in the original, but what are you gonna do? They even offered a nice discount if you already own the original, so this is really the best salvaging job they could have done. It's worth mentioning that the new content in this game mostly consists of all the little micro-challenges. I really could have gone for some larger scale additions, like a new world or something, but oh well. And it says something that after the original wore out its welcome for me before I even hit the credits, the remake's biggest issue is that I wanted more of it. Yooka Replaylee is right up there with the all-time platforming greats now. It's a worthy successor to Banjo's legacy if you ask me, and given that they've clearly hinted at a sequel on the horizon somewhere, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this series goes next.
Me too.
Oh, hi. Everything taken care of?
Yup, and you know what, man? I cleared my head back there. Sorry about all this. I really blew my top over nothing.
It's alright. I could have been a little more sensitive about things. Shall we let bygones be bygones?
Sure. Thanks for giving us platformers some spotlight again. I'll see you in the next one?
Looking forward to it. Hold on a second. I just got an email from the post office?
Ah!
Platforming genre?
Yeah?
Any idea why the mail truck carrying my copy of Dragon Quest VII R just exploded?
You can't prove anything!
Ah,